Hi, this is Mark Frechette from Georgetown County School District, and recently I've had a lot of kindergarten first and even some second grade teachers ask me how to go ahead and create some interactive slides that their students could use that were similar to what they used to create using Promethean software. But they wanted to go ahead and move towards Google Slides, since their students would be using Google Slides from third grade on up. So I'm going to show you today just a basic template that I've created, and then I'm going to show you how you can create these. It's really pretty easy, and I think you're going to like how flexible you can be with this. So as you can see right in front of me, I have an aquarium with random fish in it, and it says $5 per fish up the top to simulate going to like a pet store and maybe purchasing fish. So in this scenario, students could go ahead, the teacher could say, if this is your take-home aquarium, then you're going to go ahead and choose however many fish you can for, say, $15. So then the students would just come over here and they would have to figure out by counting by fives, dragging and dropping the different fish that they would want in their fish tank. And they could just go ahead and put those fish right over here. And you can see that guy's going to be a little tough to fit in, but either way you get the point. So for $15 I could count by fives and come up with any combination of 3 fish then for $15. You could continue to change it and have them, allow them to have different amounts of money or whatever for this scenario. But again, you see it's just a simple drag and drop. What's nice about this feature too is when I want to reset this board, I just come back up to File and I go to Version History and I go to See Version History, and you'll see that I've named my version Fish Tank Blank. I'll just click on this and hit Restore, and now all of a sudden my fish tank is ready to be used all over again. So I can continue using this over and over and over again. And again, it's real easy to set up. So we're going to kind of take a look at how to set up your, interactive slide that would allow students to come up and drag and drop. So the first place I'm going to start is in building the background. And you can see right here on this slide, I have just kind of a simple background for this scenario of having, the fish store here with the giant aquarium and then my take-home fish bowl. So I'm going to show you how I built this. And you can see that again, I kind of have like a wall in the background at this orange wall. And then I've got a countertop right here that's kind of this like grayish area. And then I just have a shape right here for the aquarium. And I've got some clip art right here for the fish bowl. So I'm going to show you how we build that. And then what we're going to do is once we build our background, we're going to go ahead and set that as a background. And so that way the objects don't move, because right now, if I tried to drag and drop, you can see that this is going to go ahead and move. The same with this, and I don't want to have to do that, especially with some of our younger students. We want them to just be able to grab the fish and move those fish over. So I'm going to start by creating a blank slide, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on my text boxes to delete those, and I'm going to build my background. So again, you saw that I had orange in the back. This is how easy it is. I use essentially this right here is about all I use. So this and images and text box. So these 3 icons. So I'm going to come up here first to shape, and I'm going to grab a rectangle, and I'm just going to drag that to give me that wall. Once I click it, I can come right up here to the fill color, and that's how I made the first one orange. I'll make this one, we'll make this one green, just so it kind of stands out. And then I could leave the counter this white color, or again, same thing. If I want to come up to shapes, I come up here and I can grab this rectangle, and now again I'm just going to drag and drop and put in a shape. I just want to change the fill color so that way it's a little different color. So I'll make this one gray, and you can see now there's my countertop, and there's the wall in the back of the pet store. So the next thing I want to do is I want to get this aquarium. I'm going to come back up to shapes, and now when I do this, I'm going to look for, again, those 3-dimensional shapes. And so you can see that right over here, I have a cube. And so I'm going to click on this cube. And now I'm going to go ahead and make my aquarium. So I'm just going to drag and stretch it out. Now, again, because it's an aquarium and it was blue, I just changed my fill color by coming back up to here, and I made it a blue. And then what I want to do is I want to add now my fishbowl. This, obviously, there's no shape for. So I'm going to come right here to Images, Insert Images, and I'm going to search the web, and I'm going to type in fish bowl clip art. And you can see it gives me suggestions right off the bat. And you'll see I have various fish bowls that are going to pop up. I want mine empty, so I'm just going to click this guy, and I can double click it. And it's going to pop it in. Now it's going to be huge at first, so I'm just going to resize it. And then I want to get it to fit on this picture. I'm just going to resize it again by coming up to the corner and dragging it. And then once I get it to where I want it, that's pretty good. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to make this aquarium just a little bit bigger. So again, I just click on the object, and I'm going to grab right here in the corner, and I can decrease or I can increase the size of my fishbowl. So that's my background. That's how simple this is. Now again, I don't want students to move these objects. So now what I need to do is I need to set all of these as one object. And the way that I do that is I come to my snipping tool, which I've got mine pinned to my taskbar. If you don't, you can come right down to the Start menu and type in the word snipping. And you'll see that Snipping Tool pops open. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my background, just like this. And now I've got it, and I'm going to save this to my desktop, and I'm going to call it Pet Store Background. And then I'm going to hit Save, and I can close it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this slide because I no longer need it, and I'm going to create a new slide, and I'm going to come up here to Background, and I'm going to go get that template that I had. So it says Image, and I'm going to choose Image. I'm going to upload it from my computer, and I saved that image on my computer. I called it, I believe, Pet Store. So Pet Store Background. It's right there. I'm going to double click it and insert it, and then I'm going to hit Done. And so now what's great is once I delete these text boxes, I can't move these objects. So they are set as the background. So the next thing I would need is I need to get my fish. I need to get those objects that I want to move. And the way that I'm going to do that is the same thing. I'm going to come back up here to this toolbar, and I'm going to go to Insert Image. And this time I'm going to search the web, and I'm just, instead of fish bowl clip art, I'm going to type in fish clip art because that's what I want. And I'm going to hit Enter. And you'll see I get all these different fish. So then I just double click on the fish. It's going to pop them in. Again, I'm just going to resize these. And because I want a lot of fish in that bowl, I'm going to make them nice and small. So I'm going to make that fish that size. I'm going to come back over here. And we're going to get like 3 different fish for this. So I'm going to click on Search the Web. It's still fish clip art. I'm going to hit Enter. You can see right here is another guy. I'm going to double click. Oops. Sometimes you'll get this message. Just dismiss it. Go back. Search the web. Pick a different style fish. So I'll pick this pink one. I'm going to resize him. We're going to make him nice and small too. And then we'll grab one more. So I'll come back up to the images, search the web, and now let's see. Here's this rainbow fish. Let's see if we can get him. Perfect. All right, so we've got 3 different fish for this activity. And so I'm going to resize them and make them small so I can fit them in this bowl. And now I want to get more fish. I want to get more of these objects so that way I can put them in the bowl. It's really simple to do. I'm going to click on the fish. So I'll click on this green one. And then I'm going to hit Control D for duplicate. And you'll see it puts the fish right there. So I can just drag this down. I can hit Control D again. And I can hit it as many times as I want. And it's going to go ahead and put those objects out for me. So I could do the same thing for this fish. I could hit Control D. And then again, I can hit it again and again and again. And so I've got all those fish out there, and I can move them around however I want. And again, I can do it again with this last one. Select it and hit Control D for duplicate, and I can put this fish right out here. Sometimes you might want these objects over one another to make it look like it's one object and they're just pulling from it. And that's where you're just going to line it up after you hit duplicate. And you're just going to stack them kind of like this. And again, I'm not going to do that for this one. I'm going to spread them out, but you get the point. So anyways, you've got all these fish in here. This is now the template like this that I want to save. So what I would do is I would come up here to File, and I would go to Version History when I have my template all set up. I would go to See Version History, and you'll see this is my current version is right here. I may call this one New Pet Store Setup. So this is, I'm going to name that so that way I know to always come back to here, and then I can just click off of that, the name sets, and again, I can go back and forth anytime I need to. So if I move these fish, and now I want to reset this template, I just come back up, go to File, Version History, go to See Version History, and then I go to New Pet Store Setup and hit Restore this version. I restore it, and boom, I'm right back to the clean board, all set up and ready to go. So again, hopefully you got the idea of this. It's pretty easy, but again, 1, think of the scene, 2, design your background, and then save that background and apply it, and then go looking for clip art and add them in using that Control D, and then name that version so that way you've always got your template. Good luck making these.